Hello, and welcome to the Great Game Debate Podcast, where friends come together to respectfully discuss, debate, and disagree about video games. As always, I'm your host, Caden Barrett Lane, and of course, joining us back from holiday is the Saucy Aussie, Stephen Beaumont. How you doing, buddy?
Good. Coming through a bit robotic, unfortunately, today, so you will not hear as many stupid quips, but I'm sure I'll have, just like splurge out some stupidity. It's
And of course, we're not complete without the man with the golden voice, Mateo. How have you been?
I'm doing good, man. Steven chose my glasses. I really wanted these purple ones, but Steven likes the blue, so that's what we're going with.
Okay. If you're an audio listener, just imagine Mateo in purple glasses and you'll make him happy.
Hell yeah.
And of course, making all the magic happen, Jonah Gomez, Godfather of Debate. How are you doing this weekend? Hasta la vista.
I was doing great today. I had a fantastic time at the Portland Retro Game Expo, but you know, Starbucks towed my car, so that was sick. But yeah,
Starbucks. Wow.
Yeah, Starbucks. Boo, Starbucks.
Ooh, Starbucks.
Boo, Starbucks.
We're anti-sponsored from Starbucks.
But I got to meet a bunch of cool people at the expo, and we're gonna have some more shorts coming out here pretty soon with all that content. So keep an eye out.
Yeah.
All right. And our special guest this week is Adam Gumbert of the Respawn Aim and Fire podcast. How you doing this fine weekend?
Hey, what's going on? So I live in the state that produces a lot of bourbon. So right now I have McDonald's cup, medium. It's about 70% full. How much bourbon do you think's in here? Give me a guess, percentage-wise.
Oh, shit.
Ooh, I'm going to say 60%.
Damn. We'll go 30.
Let's go solid 20.
Yeah, I was gonna say 20.
Probably 20 or 30 of Woodford Reserve because it's real cheap up here.
Nice.
Love
I
it.
like that.
Maybe I will have to Australia.
Maybe I will have to pour myself some whiskey during our next break.
Do it.
All right. Well, before we move on, I'd like to give a quick shout out to our patrons. As always, we have Dan Gieselin, Pucho, Wes, Dakota Falk, Randall Reborn, Too Good, Aunt Jay, Austin Sheen, and Cherie Clark.
Thanks,
Thank you so much,
Mom.
patrons. You know, I was catching up on
Thanks, Mom.
the community shout out channel and saw Aunt Jay's like 3D printed models he's doing and painting, like the Bulbasaurs. Very cool stuff.
Those are rad, dude.
Yeah.
I don't have a use for a 3D printer, but I look at the pricing on them so often, trying to talk myself into it.
You'll find a use once you own them. You'll just start printing an army of Bulbasaurs, apparently.
Just print minis, man. You do have
exactly.
You do have a reason for a 3D printer. There were so many at the convention. There were so many places that were selling minis that were just 3D printed ones.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, folks, I hope you stop by Garrick Mock Monastery to pick up your Sword of the Creator because it's time for the icebreaker. All right, this one comes in from Randall Reborn, always coming in clutch with the very amazing and thoughtful questions. If you could blend two games, they cannot be from the same genre or series, which two games would you blend and why? I'll just kick us off here. You know, it's like a broken record at this point, very cold take, but like Dark Souls and Castlevania, dude. Oh my God. I would just like die on the spot if that ever happened. If somehow Konami paid From Software enough money.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Is the concept from most people like when I think of that, because obviously it already is Castlevania, but it's like, is it just you want the hammer horror like monsters in that sort of world?
Or you just
I just want like classic gothic horror. Like I want to like fucking, you know, kill a zombie and a big werewolf and vampires and like giant bats and skeletons, just like with a big fucking hammer or whatever, you know.
Or are you just like wanting like Castlevania Lords of Shadow, but it plays like Dark Souls?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I really just want like Bloodborne just in a Castlevania wrapper, just Castlevania skin, you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm down with that.
They bring over they do the sub weapons as like the prosthetic weapons from Sekiro or something.
Oh, that'd be cool if
Um,
it was like styled like Sekiro, and so you just have like the
Yeah,
one
yeah.
weapon that you're using, and you're like upgrading that one weapon throughout the game. That'd be sick.
Good. You could go a couple different ways. It could be more Sekiro. It could also be more Dark Souls, as like, the
Symphony
Igavanias where
Night uses a lot
there's a
of
bunch of different weapons.
Yeah.
There's many ways you could do it, but
I
I'd,
could see
I'd
that
be
working.
happy with any of them.
That seems like such a no-brainer too. Like, how is that not
Yeah.
a thing already?
Yeah.
It's because I don't have the
Dead
money to
Cells
pay.
Return to Castlevania is pretty close.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I gotta play that.
I've got one
all
for
right.
you, Caden. I've
Yeah,
got
yeah,
it.
what you
I've
got,
got one. I'm picturing the ultimate spooky experience. You take two games known for
vibes.
these like creepy, unsettling, spooky vibes. First off, you take Doki Doki Literature Club,
Uh-huh.
right?
Mhm.
Which is, an underrated horror gem about, all kinds of different themes of self-harm, all kinds of stuff, right? Lots of dark, spooky stuff going on. And then you take the other king of horror, Animal Crossing, which is about the terrifying realities of capitalism.
Yeah.
Push them together. Doki Doki Crossing.
Mhm. Is it also a dating sim? Like I get to like date Tom Nook and
You
like
can
Isabel
absolutely
and
date
like
Tom Nook if you wanted, although that dude with the little puppy with the
Man,
guitar,
imagine
way
the
better
prenup
choice.
on Tom
Yeah.
Nook. Man.
Tom Nook's just your sugar daddy.
I finished drafting the marriage contract. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right. Well, we have the
Why
spooky
does he
games in the
sound
air.
like that?
That's a good question. That would not be his accent. Jonah, you got another spooky comment for us, or you go in a different direction?
No, okay, so when it comes to gameplay, I'm thinking Titanfall 2, that I think that's like a game that has like just perfect gameplay. And I kind of want to get that in like a third person parkour style game. So like let's take Titanfall 2's gameplay and we'll mash that into Fortnite so I can fucking wall run and hit the gritty while I'm wall running and then blast people. If Apex won't bring mechs and wall running in, Fortnite will.
That's about as Jonah of an answer as I could have expected.
Yeah.
Adam, what do you have for us?
All right, so first half is cozy game. The whole idea of it being sort of cutesy, I guess we can do pixel art style. During the day, you're either running a shop, doing your farm, whatever. Second half of the mashup is Arkham City, where at night you're actually Batman and you go into town and beat the shit out of people.
Yes.
So sort of like
Bruce
Moonlighter, where
Wayne
it's
by
like
day, Batman by night. That's
just straight up
sick.
Batman by night. Yeah,
He
it's
has
like
to keep the
management on
family
the side.
business running during
Yeah,
the day, or else he's got to run out of
play,
money.
You play as an osteopath so that you beat the shit out of people and then charge them to heal them.
Oh my god!
Right, your business is healing people you beat the hell out of.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great combo. I would play that.
Arkham
Gives me,
Valley.
Arkham Valley.
Yeah, let's go. All right, Steven, what you got for us?
Man, I was trying so hard to think of something and just kept on coming back and it kept on coming back and I'm like, my favorite game is Banjo-Kazooie. I just love
Nuts and bolts.
small worlds and collecting things and jumping and solving puzzles and getting more abilities as you go. Like, I just think it's such a great concept where it's like 3D platformer meets Metroidvania conceptually, but like adding those elements of creativity from Tears of the
Oh
Kingdom
my god.
and like
There we go.
being able to like solve puzzles in your own way, especially when it's like, oh, your double jump just can't quite get there, but if I like make some sort of platforming and stuff in the way. I'm not going for the meme. I know I already went for the meme in the comments. I'm not actually going for the meme. I'm just saying, like, I just love the creativity of the Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild system. Puzzle games that have freaking like Portal and shit that use physics. Like, adding that into a 3D platformer would just be so dope. So I'm actually serious about that. That would be hard.
Sure. I mean, yeah, if Link had like a long jump into a back flip, into a cap throw, into like a triple jump, like that would really push Tears of the Kingdom over there.
Hell yeah.
And, there's like 120 Triforce shards just like scattered around the board. Like, that would actually be pretty
Yuck.
cool. I'm on board.
Yuck. Disgusting.
Whatever, bro. Whatever. Sick. All right. Well, thanks to Rattle Reborn for the icebreaker. Put you in the hot seat a little bit here, Adam. Let me give you a second here just to plug your stuff. Give us a pitch on what the podcast is about. Why should we should be listening? Any other projects you may have? Anything you want to plug at all?
Yeah, Respawn Aim Fire. I would say it's a gaming variety podcast
Mhm.
because we do once a month. We have like game show, like full on like Olympic Jeopardy, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire stuff.
Wow.
It's awesome.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the actual show is like a little bit of news, but then a lot of, again, segments of like doing silly stuff. And one of my favorite games of all time that I run is 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon as being John Malkovich. So if that title interests you, check out Respawn Aim Fire. And then I
Oh my
also stream and do YouTube and TikTok on my own. That's all at Adam Gumbert. So just look that up on everything and
Sure.
it's all there.
That's hilarious. That obviously sounds like if you like our podcast, you would like Adam's podcast. Sounds like there's a lot of similarity in the structure there. Is there a particular piece of recent content you'd like to plug that recommend people to like kind of jump on board, like an episode or a Twitch stream or something like that?
I would say for Respawn Aim Fire, there is an episode. I don't remember which one it is. It's one of the game show ones. It's the summer. Actually, they'll probably both be out by the time you hear this. There's a summer gaming athlon and then a fall gaming athlon, which is me running the quiz show.
Mhm.
And it's just me doing all the segments I do on the regular show. I put them into one, like for, it's an Olympic style thing where it's like you got to get
Yeah.
a gold, silver, bronze, whatever. So those are both be out by the time you're listening to this. So go listening to the gaming athlons over on
Oh, yeah,
Respawn
that
Aim Fire.
sounds that's fun as
Absolutely.
hell.
Dope.
That's awesome.
Sick. All right. Before we move on to the debate, anybody have any last minute questions for Adam?
Adam, what is a skill that you have that you are really proud of, but you don't get to showcase a lot?
Being good at football.
Ooh,
Like
hell
playing,
yeah.
like strategizing, like all of the above?
Wide receiver.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, dude.
5-star over here. No, it is funny though, because like when you play, anyone who's played sports as a kid,
Mhm.
it's like you're not really that interested, and then you hit a certain age and you get interested. But then you become an adult and you're like, well, I wasn't good enough to go to college, but these skills still correlate.
Yeah.
So rec league, flag football, this guy kills it, man. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
Flag
it is
football's
weird.
so fun, dude. It's so fun.
Yeah, that is a weird thing. Like I am like such a freaking nerd that but at the same time, I've always had good hand-eye coordination, so I can pick up any sport with moderate success, like easily. So it's always hard to show my kid who's both into nerdy shit and sports and wants to skate and wants to do this, and I'm trying to show him the stuff, and he gets upset that I can pretty comfortably relearn like how to skate and stuff. Like I've been doing like reverts and stuff at the skate park with my kid and stuff recently, and yeah, it's just like it's a weird thing where it's just like, yeah, just from doing sports you do get just a really weird sense of hand-eye coordination that doesn't translate when you're just a big old nerd playing video games all the time.
That's pretty funny. Man, you're giving me like Final Fantasy X Jacked vibes with your children. Like, you can't do it, kid. I'm the best. Like shit like that.
Caden, that'll be you soon.
Yeah, I did not do the jacked shot in my Final Fantasy X playthrough. I missed it.
Ooh,
maybe
Caden, question for you, just to derail things a little bit in our normal fashion. Are you going to let your kid win at games, or are you going to destroy him and go full force on him?
I feel like I'm gonna let him win. I'm a softie. So,
The thing about Mario Kart 8 is you get the 3 stars for winning every race, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but I gotta get the 3 stars. Like,
I'll probably like pretend to like keep pace with him the whole race, and then like right before the finish line, just edge over and be like, that was a close race. You did a real good job.
Once a kid gets comfortable with a controller, Bloodborne's getting put in front of his face.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, I'm gonna be like forcing him with like a cattle prod to like fight like Mikkela's consort Radon at the end of Shadow of the Erd Tree. He's like 5 years old. He's like, please don't make me do it again, Dad. I've tried to kill him 500 times. And You're no son of mine.
You don't get dinner until they're dead.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll throw you into a volcano.
I was about to say, this is how you start off a relationship that ends with someone getting tossed in a volcano.
Yeah. Apparently, you can live from that and come back. So.
Oh yeah,
it shouldn't be too big of a deal.
it happened to me. Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got a debate planned for you listeners, followed by a GGD-List mini with Adam, and then we'll do a quick round of pitches. So we'll have a quick break and come back for the debate.
It's time to go head to head in this strategy debate today. We have Adam representing Western strategy games versus Caden representing Eastern/Japanese strategy games. Don't have an assist trophy today because Mateo's chicken.
Oh, come on now.
Adam, as our guest, would you like to start or close the debate?
I'll just start.
All right. You've got 2 minutes on the clock for your opening statement. Are you ready, sir?
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1, debate.
People of the jury, I stand here before you, a small town country chicken lawyer, to tell you why Western strategy games are better. Here's the thing. I don't actually want to come into this and say that Japanese Eastern strategy games are bad. That's not what we're really talking about. What I want to focus on is I feel that Western strategy games take more risk and are more varied. So the fact that it's already a niche genre, it makes it more interesting. Here's an instance. I've got a list just from google.com/AI or whatever, giving me list of strategy games. Obviously, we've got our Civilizations, our XComs, our, the Firaxis variety. Amazing games, great games. No one could argue that. We also have things like Into the Breach, Crusader Kings. I'm just going down this list. Frostpunk, XCOM 2, Invisible Ink, Marvel's Midnight Suns is a personal favorite of mine. And if we want to go into real-time strategy, you've got your StarCrafts, you got your Age of Empires, you got whatever. All of this to say, it's like, oh, look at all these different things. It's like we've got sci-fi, we've got historical, we've got high fantasy, we've got aliens and guns, we've got superheroes, we got all of this. Super cool, super varied. I will just, whenever we get to that other side, does the Eastern strategy game give me anything that's not a Final Fantasy? That's AKA not high fantasy or medieval tactics. Can they give me anything else at all? If they could, they have an argument. Until then, I will take variety and a multitude of different scenarios and settings over sort of the same thing every time. Again, not to say it's bad. I love Fire Emblem, but maybe I want to shoot an alien once in a while. Rest my case.
Leaving 15 seconds on the table. Very good.
That was tight. That was a nice, tight one.
Yeah, that was real good.
Yeah. And in the setup, I wasn't even thinking of RTS, but like that also just lends a lot of weight as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, Caden, that was a strong open. How are you feeling?
There was. Fine.
All right, you got
everything's on fire, but everything's fine.
You got 2 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, 1, debate.
Okay, here's what you're gonna get from Japanese strategy games. Okay, coziness. You may be out there in that fantasy medieval world, killing knights, killing dragons, but in between the sorties, if you will, you go back to your base camp. You flirt with the hot anime characters in your roster that you think are the hottest, and eventually that romance will blossom into marriage, and eventually that marriage may blossom into children, and eventually those children may blossom into bloodthirsty killers that you could recruit to your army to kill the opposing army with. You just don't get that in Western strategy games. Carry it on the coziness. The games, like, they always have like good food. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's take this year's Unicorn Overlord. Like, horrible battle, people are dying, battle ends, you go back to town, you go to the cavern, you order like an apple tart, and it comes out on a little tray, and there's like a big titty barmaid that's like, here's your apple pie, and like it comes sliding onto the table, and like the apple pie's like jiggling and glistening, and like all your men are like, oh yeah, this is so good, yeah, like it's just
30 seconds.
It's just such a good, it's like you feel like you begin to know these people. You know, you look at like 4X strategy games and XComs and stuff. It's just like another faceless dude. He dies, you replace him. Like the units in Japanese strategy games are, well, they're like your family. I see the rest of my time.
Okay, leaving 10 seconds on the table.
Using the Olive Garden defense.
Ooh.
Olive Garden defense. When you're here, your family.
Yeah. I'll just say it. I could not think of a single Japanese strategy game that does not fit the narrow, like, high fantasy medieval setting. I just can't think of one.
The thing I would have ended on was like the Vanillaware jiggle physics, because for a good like 20 seconds after that, all I was thinking about was Vanillaware jiggle physics. I was like, man,
Yeah.
good shit.
Should save that one.
All right, Mateo. I know you're real good about writing your notes. How are you feeling so far after the first round of the debate?
I'm wondering if Final Fantasy Tactics counts as diesel punk, because there is a robot that you can equip.
There's guns.
There are guns. It might be diesel punk. I don't know. It's an interesting one because I do like the little the extra touches that Caden's kind of hitting on that make it less like random cannon fodder that you're just controlling.
Yeah.
We'll see where they go from here.
All right. Adam, we're going into the rebuttal round. Got 2 minutes on the clock. Are you ready?
So this is just where I say what he just said is wrong, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
got it.
I understand how
you
this
can
works.
just
2 minutes
I
on
hope that's opening statement. Everything he said is wrong, and that's it. And that's all the time.
2 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, 1. Debate.
So here's the thing. There are plenty of Western strategy games that have the thing you're talking about. I'm going to focus on two specifically. First up, Mutant Year Zero. If you've ever played it, it is sort of a post-apocalyptic, but like post-post, so things are kind of green and growing. But you play anthropomorphic animals. You're like a duck, there's a frog lady, there's a big pig boy. All of that, again, very much a Western strategy game, but it's about having these characters in your squad. You're going out on this adventure, get very much in like a retaken world, like there's a lot of foliage and stuff like that. So it's a beautiful thing. It's a story about a family, when you're here, your family. And that's what the game is all about. So they've got that thing. Also, how about another one? Talking about romance. We talk about Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Ooh.
A strategy game, again, where you're with all your familiar characters. We're hanging out with Iron Man. He's hot. We're hanging out with Doctor Strange. Hot too. That game has like 20 something characters. It actually has a relationship meter where like it builds up and they like you more. You're hanging out with Blade. Captain Marvel, you're going down to the pool, having a good time. Hanging out with Storm. We're having a great time. Building up relationships. A lot of dialogue in that game. Are there babies? Well, we're not going to be predatory. Maybe like some Eastern RPG or strategy games would be. We're not going to worry about what happens in the future. Right now, we're coming together for a single cause, and everyone's happy and living together. And that game is entirely about relationships and then going and doing strategy battles, but with characters
30 seconds.
not random, purple-haired girls that are 17, but somehow you're making moves on them.
Oh!
I rest my case.
Oh! Leaving 25 seconds or 20 seconds on the clock. Man. Keep hitting you with the creeper status right there at the end, Caden. All right, you've got...
Work cut out for me.
But the magical 9-year-old is actually 3,000, so it's fine, guys.
That was going to be my argument, Steven.
All right. Caden, you've got 2 minutes on the clock for your rebuttal. 3, 2, 1, debate.
All right, guys. The characters you could romance get married to a fire emblem that look like children are actually dragons that are 1,000 years old that just have a human body that looks like a child. Okay, so it's fine. It's fine. Okay, I got a problem with the Midnight Suns pool because you cannot actually like date and have like a romance with the characters that you're just becoming very good platonic friends. Doesn't count. Okay. What was my other thing that I was going to rebut to? Let me think. Let's see here. Oh yes, I thought of a Japanese strategy game that does not have a high fantasy medieval setting. It's called Valkyria Chronicles, baby. We're talking about like alt history, like World War One, World War Two. You know, you're rolling around in a tank. You're shooting lances with rockets on the end of them instead of rocket launchers. You got a little doggy medic with like a magic healing grenade on his neck, and he runs out to like save your guys that get shot down. So yeah, that we could just scrub that whole point. We got variety out the wazoo on the Japanese side. Man, I guess I just have to see the rest of my time because I forgot my extra point.
All right, leaving 35 seconds on the table. Steven,
Just couldn't beat the allegations.
Couldn't beat the allegations.
No. All right, Steven, I'll give you a couple seconds to give me your thoughts on the debate so far. Going into the third round.
Yeah, no, it's like, especially in like, after not like us, it's hard to get past certain things, freaking mansions full of baby oil and shit, like at some point it's got to stop.
Yeah. All right, Mateo, quick 2 cents.
I do have a note here from when Adam was talking that says, "Can I fuck Wolverine?" And the answer is no in Midnight Suns. I tried. You can't. He just wants to be platonic friends, which is the most non-Wolverine thing to exist in Midnight Suns.
All right, let's go into the final round. We've got the closing thoughts. Adam, you've got 2 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, 1, debate.
Yeah, and after the allegations and the criminal filings against my opponent here, I don't think I have to say too much more. But if we're going to talk a little bit more about it, I have even more variety for you. Again, we've already talked about the science fiction. I want to talk a little bit, again, more variety. That's the whole thing about Westerns we're talking about here. Also, a thing I left out, stealth strategy games. We have, oh Lord, what is it called? Desperados. We have Curse of the Shadow Gambit, a very light game last year. And then a game that came out a couple weeks ago by Devolver, Sumerian 6, which is your scientist fighting Nazis.
Oh.
Killing Nazis, that's a good thing. Being pirates doing stealth, that's a good thing. I would just say that variety and little kid liking aside, I don't see how you could possibly vote any other way.
A dragon that appears to be a little kid.
It just looks like a kid. It's wild.
All right, leaving 1 minute and 5 seconds on the table. Sweet.
Wow, left
nice.
himself open. I made him too confident.
All right, bring it home then. Bring it home
I
then.
got the secret sauce.
All right.
Remember,
15 perfect parries in a row. Here we go.
Caden remembered that mech strategy games exist.
Oh shit.
Caden, you've got 2 minutes on the clock. Let's see what you can do. 3, 2, 1, debate.
All right, here's the secret sauce. Japanese class/job systems, baby. We're talking about Final Fantasy Tactics. We're talking about Fire Emblem. We're talking about Valkyria Chronicles. I'm talking about choosing a little knave who's nothing but a level 1 generic class scrub and raising him up to a level 99 samurai boss who like subclasses as a monk and like a gunner. I don't know. And getting into the weeds of the minutia with customizing a unit, he's got this class at XYZ skill from it. He's got 2 subclasses and XYZ skill from that class. He's got, XYZ piece of gear that synergizes with the 2 abilities on these classes over here. And you've respec his growth rates on his different stats to make sure they're min-maxed with his jobs. I'm talking about promotion. I'm talking about the dopamine and Fire Emblem when you hit level 10 in a class and then you can use a master seal to level up your guy into just like a fucking like beefcake looking psycho. Like you start off with like a with a knight. Yeah, he's this like turtle in like plate armor with like
30
a
seconds.
lance and a shield, and you promote him to a general, and now he just looks like a World of Warcraft, like Gears of War 40k god, and his lance now has like a chain on it, and it like shoots like a grapple. Like, that's like the other thing is, a lot of Western games, it's just like it's the bird's eye view of like the pew pew, I'm whack whack, or but like in Fire Emblem you get like this sumptuous pixel art animation. Sumptuous.
That's why I didn't know leveling up was only in Japanese RPGs. I didn't realize that.
No. Promoting to a new class.
Based on the debate, it was like that's all the information we had.
All right, that was our debate. Steven, I'm gonna pass it over to you. I want to get your thoughts. Tell me what you're thinking.
I beat the allegations.
Did Kaden beat the allegations?
Well, first of all, I'll admit, in Fire Emblem Awakening, the 3,000-year-old, like 9-year-old, comes into the story with like a big like German brick shithouse dude, and I paired them up, and I'm like, this feels wrong, but whatever. They're the last couple that need to go together to have a kid, so that'll do. So definitely I have a history myself, but like job systems, oh my god, job systems is such fucking dopamine, dude. Like Donovan in Awakening is like he'll almost always die on the first map you can find him on. But if you can make him survive, he becomes like an absolute weapon. Like he's so good, and he can pass on the best traits to his kids.
Cooking pot for a helmet.
For a helmet, yeah. So that build up, like that is like that was a masterclass in closing, because you're right. You were down and out. So I must admit that was a freaking fantastic close. But again,
had to rally.
And it was a good rally.
I don't know if it was enough.
But yeah, again, the variety of Western, it is crazy to think about it, like the Western strategy games. I'm like, that's it. Like, I grew up playing Age of Empires, Total War, back when I had a family PC, and then I never played PC games again, pretty much, and just like, Banner Saga and stuff like that, and looking at FTL from a distance and like longing for it, and tried Into the Breach, even though it's brutally freaking hard. But yeah, just like the how much the variety is crazy, and thinking about Mutant Year Zero was just like, that was like, man, that sounds so dope. I'd freaking love to get into it. Yeah, there's just so much.
All right, Steven, your 2 minutes are up. What is
I'm gonna have to go for Western strategy, even though I thought that was a fantastic closing statement. I thought that was an awesome rally.
All right. Mateo.
Yeah, I gotta just give this one to Adam real quick. Like, if you don't like anime aesthetic, you're fucked. Custom Japanese strategy. Anyway, sorry, Mateo.
All right, Mateo.
My brain says Western games. My brain says that the Western games win this.
But what does your body tell you?
Here is the problem. My heart says Final Fantasy Tactics, Front Mission. Like, there's some good stuff. There's that crunchy nostalgia stuff from my childhood, and I think I've got to give it to Eastern games. Although there's a lot I didn't get into, but like Final Fantasy Tactics was just so like impactful on my early gaming years. I think that's where my heart has to go. You bringing up the job system just made me think of like my ridiculous half monk, half squire build that I had going for Ramza. Like, it's good stuff.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, Mateo confirmed going to Lolicon next year.
No.
Yes. All right, so I'm pretty unbiased in this scene. I'm not a big strategy guy. Smooth brain dummy boy. Just remember.
Oh
But
man, I just forgot my point that I forgot. I remember the point that I forgot
well, it's too
because
late
of what
now.
you just said. It's too late.
It's too late now. It's too late now. And what Adam said, I'm gonna keep the allegations out of this. We'll just talk about games. What Adam said is there is a massive
Paid off the
variety
judge.
that I'm sure I could find something in a Western strategy that I could appreciate and like and have fun with. So, with variety alone, I'm going to give my point to Western games. Adam, you did a fantastic job. I love the mic drop at the end of your debate. I was real good. Caden,
Old strategy.
it was a
Yeah,
bold
that's nice.
strategy, and you know what? I think it really paid off. Caden, you did a fantastic job in that closing. You really dug yourself out of that hole pretty good. But yeah, my point's going to Adam. Y'all killed it.
I can respect it. I can respect it.
Good stuff.
Now that the voting has been decided, the point that I forgot that you made me remember, Jonah, is that Western games, I mean, sorry, Japanese strategy games are so much more accessible. They're so simple. You could Pokemon Fire Emblem and just like use one unit and it becomes completely overpowered. And like, some shit like some 4X strategy is just like, you're gonna have like a aneurysm trying to play that. But
Yeah.
anyway, it's too late.
There is a Pokemon strategy game as well that was on the DS that is like
Oh,
Dynasty
shit.
Warriors cross Pokemon.
It's
Was
the
there really?
Nobunaga. Yeah, it's set like feudal Japan, and you're playing like Nobunaga or something. And it's like it's like a Final Fantasy Tactics Pokemon game.
Hayden, you missed out on Dynasty Warriors because those are strategy games. You have
No,
to.
they're not.
Are they?
Yeah, you
No,
have
those
to.
are- those are-
No, you have to
no.
strategize the battles. You do.
I've never strategized pressing square, 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 square. And square as well.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you want.
Okay.
If we were
press square.
if we were going to allow that, then Caden should have been able to use Monster Hunter as a strategy
Yeah.
game.
If you play some of the harder levels in those games, strategy and placement really plays a factor.
I'll
into
give
those
you that
games.
it's a genre fusion, and it's 1% the strategy genre.
You know what? I'm trying to help you out, and you guys
Thank
are. Fuck you, man. I'm done.
Jonas smooth brain is like, what do I press after I press square?
Square.
I hate you.
Jonah, do we have any?
We do have
data
results.
to,
We do have results from episode 100. We have our Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts versus Kingdom Hearts debate. Winning by 0 is no one. We tied. They are both bad games.
Wow.
You
couldn't settle it.
50-50.
It's I feel really bad too. It's like every single I haven't bought a like an amiibo in so many years, and I keep going past Sora, and he doesn't sell out. Like, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, dude, I can't do it. It's like $25. Nah.
Just as a random tangent, I have to tell the panel and the listeners about a Japanese tactics game called Fuga Melodies of Steel, and you play a bunch of child soldiers inside of a tank that's like your mobile base. And the twist of this game is it's very difficult, and you might win by the skin of your teeth if you're really staying on top of your strategy, but you have an ace in the hole that's basically like a super weapon like Kamehameha beam cannon on your tank, but the super cannon is powered by the souls of children.
Jesus Christ.
You have to permanently sacrifice one of your child soldier crews to get the cannon to work, and then you just win.
They're
Mateo-
also furries, by the way. You left that.
Yeah,
you left
that's-
that point
yeah.
out. They're
Yeah.
furries.
Mateo, I've got
Yeah.
I've got a question for you. What's worse, not being a pedophile going after the 9-year-old that is 1,000 years old, the 1,000-year-old dragon that looks like a 9-year-old,
Keyword not.
or sacrificing children's souls to use as a Kamehameha blast, sacrificing
The answer's
children,
clear.
sacrificing children's soldiers' souls to do a Kamehameha blast out of a tank.
The least evil out of those is obviously putting the children into shells and firing them at your enemies.
He's 3,000 years old.
So Mateo is pro Snowpiercer. Confirmed.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, that was
Well, if the
All
crane
right.
stops moving, we all freeze and die, Steven.
yeah. That was our debate, y'all. We'll see you in the D-List mini.
All right, we are back, dear listeners, and it is time for another edition of the GGD-List mini. We have our guest this week, Adam, who will choose one past community prompt and add a game to it. So, Adam, have you chosen the prompt that you would like to add a game to?
Yes, I'm choosing first is worst, second is best.
Oh.
Okay.
Nice.
Now, would you like to reveal the game that you've chosen to add to this prompt?
I will be adding XCOM 2.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, that
brand.
makes
It's
sense.
very topical, very topical.
All right.
All right. Well, before we get to ranking, why don't you tell us a little bit about your relationship with XCOM 2 and why I am assuming you love it so much. I mean, maybe you don't, but we're about to find out.
No, it's great. So whenever people ask the question, like, what's your favorite game of all time? I don't think XCOM 2 is the best game of all time, but every time
Mhm.
someone asks that question, I'm like, is it XCOM 2? I think it's XCOM 2.
Mm.
It is I think it's the strategy game that got me into this entire genre. It is
Mm.
unendingly fun. You can make all your friends in it. They can get killed by aliens. You can save scum it. I mean, Fractious just made so XCOM Enemy Unknown, like they brought it back, and it was like, oh, this is super cool. This is awesome. And then XCOM 2 was like, yo, why don't we take it a little bit further? And like, it just feels like someone gave them like twice the budget to just do it again. And it's excellent because a lot of the missions start out, and it's so varied because, so in the first game, you're fighting the alien invasion, and you're the special team of people going out to fight the aliens. Beginning of XCOM 2, you guys lost the war, and now you're like a small rebel group going to fight against the aliens and like take back Earth. So every mission kind of starts out with like a stealth section where they don't know you're there yet, and until you engage, they don't know you're there. So it kind of adds a whole
That's
new
sick.
layer to it.
Mhm.
Again, all the enemy classes are awesome. They've got, you got your sniper, you've got your hunters, you got whatever, and then DLC. It's like, oh, this person has like they literally add like enemy factions to your group. So there are like the
Oh,
alien
that's cool.
human
Love that.
hybrids, and
Yeah,
they can
dude.
be on your team. You got big robots. It's all. But by the time you get all the DLC and everything in that game, I've a single playthrough. I think I've taken like 80 or 90 hours easily,
Yeah.
just because I want
Yeah.
to do everything in it, not because it takes that
Mhm.
long. Because I'm like, I want to do everything here.
Mhm.
Excellent game, perfect strategy game, perfect to like. Let me just run one more mission,
Mhm.
and then you go back and you have a base that you take care of. So it's got base building on top of
Mhm.
awesome strategy stuff.
There you go,
People
Steven.
die.
Hell
It's
yeah.
great.
Love base
It's awesome.
building.
Make everyone on the podcast in there. It's like, oh no,
He's gonna
I-
last
Taylor's
Wow,
longer.
that's
dead.
sick.
Oh well, it
I-
happened.
I had a buddy that he used to, he had all of us, his little close group of friends made in XCOM. And if we got into an argument, he'd send you out on a suicide mission and then he'd send you a screenshot of your character dying.
Oh no.
That's great.
Oh,
I mean, the
wow.
first
No,
time you run into an alien, they're like, oh, help this group of civilians, and then one of them turns into like a 10-foot tall goo man. It's like, oh, he was pretending to be human the whole like this shit. It never stops. How wild that game is. So it's great.
Damn, all right.
Now you've got
Yeah, I
Caden
consider one of
excited. He
my-
loves 10 feet tall goo men.
Yeah, I do. My 1-year-old son has this children's book that's like different Halloween characters in like a ghost costume, and it's like, who's this ghost? And you flip it, and then they like take the sheet off, and it's like the Wolfman or like Dracula. And there's one that's like just a blob, and it's like, I'm Robert the Slime. Gets me rock hard, dude.
Robert, why is Robert such a good name for a slime, though, dude? That name feels appropriate.
It's I don't know. There's something like with Blob, like Robert the Blob. It's
Blobbert.
something works with it. Blobbert the Blob.
Blobbert.
But yeah, no, XCOM. I consider XCOM 2 one of my like gaming sins that I have not played because I just know I would love it. It sounds amazing. All right, so walk us through your thoughts here, Adam, as you look down the list and trust your instincts and feel the force about where you think this XCOM 2 should slot into the list. And then we'll
That's the-
argue with you about it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you don't want to do it too high and be the only person
Mm-hmm.
against it, but I also don't want to go too low. I want to say, just to be fair and not have to argue too much, I'm thinking,
Number one.
yeah, I know, absolutely. I want to start the bidding at 20
Oh,
and then
okay.
go up from there.
I
Just 'cause I
think we
feel
got.
Okay.
I think I'm not looking at the list right now. I think start at like somewhere like 15 and work our way around.
Well, here, so from 15 to 20, it's Super Mario 64, Batman Arkham Asylum,
Yeah,
Monster Hunter
shit.
World, Castlevania,
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda. What is ALTTP?
Link to the Past.
Link to the
Which
Past.
Yeah.
I
And
think
MGS2.
we've got it. We've got enough Zelda games that I feel like you can Link to the Past.
That's why I'm starting
without
at 20.
Any argument, you know?
Because I
Yeah.
think that you can go above MGS2 because you've already got MGS1 on the list.
Mhm.
You can go above this Zelda, so that it's like, is it
Yeah.
above Castlevania? Can I get it over Symphony of the Night? That's why I'm thinking.
I
I think the
think you
hard
can,
wall is going to
personally.
be Monster Hunter World. Honestly,
That's what I'm thinking. It's like, because I don't personally, as much as I love the game, find it hard to argue above Arkham Asylum at 16. So I'm like, does it go in front of or before, or does it go
Well,
in
my
front
thing
of Monster
is,
Hunter World or after Monster Hunter World at 17? That's where I'm thinking, having to
Mhm.
argue it. You know what I'm saying?
I could honestly put it above Batman. I'm like probably the person on the panel who's like the least fan of that game. Like it's a really good game, but
what about
I think
Monster
XCOM 2
Hunter?
Yeah.
would be more. Well, I'm
With its,
trying to be unbiased and just like pretend Monster Hunter isn't there. I'm never gonna get anything by it. So if you guys argue for Monster Hunter World, but I think I'm like the only one on the panel
Yeah.
who
I
argues
have-
so hard for it.
I have.
I'm also trying to be unbiased because I'm over here looking at like my beloved FTL at number 42, and that's the other strategy game I see on this list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That should just be
I
higher.
feel like
the problem is I need justice for FTL. I don't need to punish
Yeah,
XCOM 2
100%. I feel like I don't know what happened to FTL. Did it get dropped or something? Because I feel like maybe you didn't fight for it hard enough. 'cause
Someone
I
must
thought-
have dropped it, right?
I've always thought that FTL should be very high up on the list, even though I've never played it.
Yeah, I see the appeal of XCOM 2 for sure. I've had all my buddies that are into it are very into the game. Like it is definitely a heavy hitter. I think 20 is a good spot for it. I would be fine with 20.
In above 20 or
I'm fine. I'm fine with 17 or yeah.
I'm thinking
17
17.
17 works for me.
yeah, I'm cool with 17.
Now that is
Yeah.
is that above Monster Hunter World or under Monster Hunter World? I guess is the only question.
We push Monster Hunter down because I'm
Yeah,
the only
push
one
Monster
who's
Hunter
like a
down.
Monster Hunter sicko.
Well then,
so.
yeah, I can put it above Asylum too. Like I love
too.
Asylum aesthetically, gameplay wise, it's starting to get rougher
I
with
mean, I
we
think
have
the
a
other
tiebreaker?
Arkhams are better. I want to put it above Arkham Asylum if you guys are fine with it. Then
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
arguing
we got
over
a
Mario is
majority
gonna be tough.
above. Yeah, I think that's like
that's where it gets.
where I draw the
yeah.
line.
So at
Yeah,
16,
that
yeah.
game's so fucking fun.
Yeah, the new 16.
I think so.
Yeah.
The new 16.
New 16.
Yes.
All right.
So
I'm
it
gonna
sounds like
attempt to edit
Mario
this,
64
Jonah.
is the new soft cap. We've
Just
got.
do
Like,
it.
it used to be
Yeah.
Final.
Just
Back
do,
in the day, it used to be Final Fantasy 7, and now it's like Mario 64.
do what you have been doing. So just highlight it, move it down, and then
Nice.
Yeah. XCOM 2.
Put XCOM 2. I'm gonna do the
Why did it
name.
do it
War
like
of the
that?
Chosen.
War of
It's
the
technically
Chosen.
the
War of the
DLC with all the.
Chosen. Okay.
That's the full package. Is War of the Chosen.
War of the Chosen. All right, very nice. So
We'll
let
fix
us
it later.
yeah, don't worry about it. Now that we've got War of the Chosen on there, we'll start from there and go up to the number 1, and then we'll give you the opportunity to re-rank a game, Adam, just to give the listeners, an idea of where we're at. So we've slotted in XCOM 2 War of the Chosen at number 16. Then at 15, we have Super Mario 64. 14, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. Number 13, Mass Effect 2. Number 12, Portal. Number 11, Borderlands 2. Number 10, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Number 9, Elden Ring. Number 8, Shadow of the Colossus. Number 7, Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear.
Number 6, Chrono Trigger. Number 5, Outer Wilds. Number 4, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Number 3, Baldur's Gate 3. Number 2, Bloodborne. And of course, number 1, God of War 2018. All right, so talk us through your thoughts here, Adam. I know you teased earlier that you had 3 potential picks that you wanted to torpedo.
Yeah.
So walk us through it.
I've been talking to a couple of people that like making this list is very difficult because every week you're having
Mhm.
like one person trying to do it. The list are just nonsense and don't make sense.
Mhm.
I think this is actually fine overall. So what I want to do is the problem with these kind of lists is like what is the best game and what's the most influential game?
Yeah,
Mm.
I
exactly.
think is
That's
the
that's always
problem.
the toughest spot.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Because some of
Yeah.
these games in these top 15 I don't think should be as influence, yes. As actual video games, no. But what I have highlighted 3 games. You tell me which one you're willing to sacrifice because I will torpedo.
We
one
don't.
of
We
these
don't
3.
get a decision.
Well, this is. I'm doing what I
he,
want.
he can make the own rules.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want. I
he's in
just
the
want
driver's
insight.
seat.
So I'm
Kill
gonna
your babies.
quote unquote torpedo. So I'm just gonna move it down a
Yeah.
little bit. I'm thinking number 1 on the list, Outer Wilds.
Oh,
Oof.
Number 2 on my list, Metal Gear Solid 1.
Ooh.
Number 3 on my list, Death Stranding.
okay.
Oh
Death
man,
Stranding, bro.
Death
Death
Stranding
Stranding.
every single day of the
Death
week.
Stranding.
Sorry, that's fair.
Every
But now
day of the week.
we've given you our input, but you still have the power. So now you
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know that Death
They
Stranding is
can
like the
upset
least
us
painful
more.
pick.
I
Yeah.
vote for the chaos pick. I think Metal Gear Solid is the one that needs to be tuned up a little
Yo,
bit. Or tuned down a
go
little
play
bit.
that game again, Mateo. Just pump the brakes. The atmosphere, dude. That PS1 crunchy aesthetic.
I think
Don't you love nonsensical
music.
stories and really bad
Yes,
gameplay? Oh,
dude.
so good.
Don't you love
Yeah.
like
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts.
drying out your cigarettes one by one so that they don't have
Uh-huh.
like benign stomach acid on them, so then you can smoke them later on.
And then
I do love that.
Fucking love that shit.
Question: who here actually likes Outer Wilds? Because I tried.
Me.
I played that game for like 3 hours. I was so intrigued, and then I was like immediately like, I'm actually kind of.
Yeah.
Was it the time
yeah.
loop? Was it like the hard cutoff every 2 minutes of
No,
that?
I like the time loop until I was like, I was on step 2 through 7 of a bunch of things, but didn't have the ones before or after. I'm like, this is not fun anymore.
Oh damn!
And
I didn't get
spacecraft
that
controls
far,
like
so
ass.
Yeah.
I had an existential crisis and couldn't play the game, so I like literally couldn't play the game. But
Yeah.
I have only heard the people that have the game transform their lives.
See,
and that's
Here's
why
the thing about that.
I believe in it.
I've listened to so many people talk about the game, and I'm like, oh man, this game must be really cool. I look at gameplay, and I'm like, this looks like shit. I do not want.
Steven, I am so excited to watch the existential crisis you're going to have as you're reading House of Leaves.
Oh no!
Because that game ruined my mind. Or that book ruined my mind when I was reading it.
With all that said, Metal Gear's going at 27. Kojima can hang out there in the mid-20s. Have fun, Kojima.
We got the Kojima block.
Yeah, actually put it above Death Stranding because Death Stranding is actually boring. So put Metal Gear above Death Stranding.
Oh, if we get Metal Gear Solid 2 moved down there, they all eliminate.
Yeah.
Tetris block.
Just get wiped.
It's Puyo. It just gets together and then they eliminate.
Yeah.
It turns into Metal Gear Revengeance or whatever.
What's that game that they made after he left?
Survivor.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh my god. I actually beat that game. That was painful. That game fucking sucks, dude.
I heard with
You're
buddies
just farming potatoes.
I heard with buddies it was all right, but I don't know if that's an accurate review or not.
No, it is not. It is not right. Metal Gear Solid. All right, so we've started building the Kojima block. So we've thrown Metal Gear Solid down from number 7 to number 27. Bumping Death Stranding up to 26.
We need to add his like Game Boy Advance game with like the sun meter or whatever it is.
That game is
Solar
rad,
game.
dude. Yeah.
Welcome back
can't
to
play it anymore.
Welcome back to the top 10, Borderlands 2.
Oh
Hell yeah, that's pretty dope actually.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. Started top 10, Borderlands 2. Number 9, Ocarina of Time. Number 8, Elden Ring. Number 7, Shadow of the Colossus. Number 6, Chrono Trigger. Number 5, Outer Wilds. Number 4, Tears of the Kingdom. Number 3, Baldur's Gate 3. Number 2, Bloodborne. And number 1, God of War.
Oh man, see, I'm not upset that like I don't care about Metal Gear. That's fine. I'm just upset that I don't get to go Metal Gear anymore.
Yeah.
That's
it.
Yeah.
We used to have the Helldivers, Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Then we had Metal Gear, and now we got nothing.
Chrono
I'm
Trigger
nothing,
and
bro.
Ocarina of Time are shaking in their boots, dude.
Yeah.
There's been some reckonings coming for the
Oh, if it was
top
me,
10.
Yeah.
that top 10 would be about 5 games different.
I want to hear more Talos Wahood. That was my favorite
sure.
from the
Talos
last episode.
All right, damn. All right, that was a vicious GGD list mini. I feel it in my nano machines. So let's take a break. We'll be back with a pitch. Been a while, folks. It's now time for the pitch, where a handful of us panelists will have the opportunity to make a 2-minute elevator pitch for a mystery game. The rest of us will decide if we'll buy it or not based on the pitch. Adam, do you feel comfortable going first to the pitch, or do you need a little bit of
I'll go.
an example here? All right, cool. John, you got a countdown?
I got 2 minutes on the clock for you, Adam. 3, 2, 1, pitch.
So I'm going to sell you on an open world action adventure game. Tons of customization. You can kind of a lot of collecting. It has good melee combat as well as good vehicular combat as well. A game that is surprisingly extremely canon to its source material in a way that like you maybe shouldn't not play the video game to understand the rest of it. Yeah, it's great open world. Combat's great. I don't know, just trying to think. The main thing for me was understanding how canon it was to it's based on a popular franchise. Again, open world, fun game, everything about it's awesome. Cool collectibles, awesome world, based on an established franchise, and it is absolutely paramountly canon.
Aiden,
to
stop
what it's
tapping.
Oh, what? I'm sorry, I don't even know what. I'm just bouncing my knee. I don't know, like, what's creating sound.
I thought we were doing like a drum roll thing, adding some
I'm sorry.
drama
I'm
to
sorry.
There you go. My pitch is basically done. It's just that, yeah, open world, really good combat, really good vehicular combat, canon to its
Wow.
world.
Would you
Vehicular
say
combat kinda gets
specifically?
me.
Yeah, I was expecting you to say melee combat and like shooter combat, but then you pivoted to vehicular. I'm like melee combat and vehicular combat. Damn, this sounds. I feel like I'm gonna be disappointed by like whatever the IP is, but we'll see. But yeah, it sounds dope to me. I love collecting things in open worlds and vehicles.
I played the entirety of that Mad Max video game, and let me tell you, that game is solidly a 6.5 or 7.
Yeah.
But you put vehicular combat in there, just like the Vigilante 8 conversation we had before we started recording. I'm in, dude. I'm in. You got me right at the end.
Jack 3, dude. Vehicular
If you-
combat in the
If you
desert.
tell Jonah that this vehicular combat game has the gritty in it, and he's fucking in.
Yeah.
Is this just is this a Fortnite pitch?
I'm on for that. All right, so it sounds like Mateo and I are give it a
Yeah,
go.
I love customization, open world. Like I do get the fatigue every now and again, but then like if I get a good one, I'm fucking all in, especially with customization. You know, customization and base building on my like little open world like freaking snack farms, you know, hell yeah.
Adam, you
Sick. All right,
left
what
with
is-
like 50 seconds on the table, so I'm just gonna ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
What's the like story like in this? And like the
It's
hour
fun.
count. Yeah, it's fun. Good story.
Again, I just recently beat it and 100% in it. I don't know, 40.
Better than the
That's
Metal
not too-
Gear
that's not
story,
too bad.
apparently.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more coherent than the Metal Gear story, at least.
All right. I'll bite. I'll bite.
Just a question, like on the ambient drum soundtrack that we heard while you were pitching it, like is that often in the game?
Always drum beating constantly.
Yeah.
Just
cool.
Is this a Stranding type game?
No, it's not boring.
No ropes and ladders.
All right. All right. What did you sell us?
Mateo got it. It is Mad Max.
Oh!
So here's the thing. When I went to watch Furiosa this year, and I was watching Furiosa, and I had just, because I was excited for Mad Max, and I was like, hold on. There are things in that video game that came out 10 years before Furiosa that are canon in Furiosa, but were never mentioned in Fury Road. It is wild. Apparently, George Miller had like a big storyboard for everything he wanted to do that was canon in his world, and then made Fury Road, and then didn't do anything for 10 years. But the video game was based off of his storyboards. So there is shit in Mad Max 2015 that is
That's
canon to the Mad Max
wild.
universe that show up in
Nice.
Furiosa 10 years later. It's
Yeah.
wild.
That's
That
crazy.
game is underrated. Like I said, it's a solid like 7, 6.5, 7.5, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
It's a fun game. It's a fun game.
But it's fun. I played the
The
hell out of
vehicle
it, man.
combat is great.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. My only issue with it was like when you, because I just did the first map, 10 hours, full survival mode, didn't go to the main base quest, and did the whole map without any ammo, without any water, and it was so fucking dope. But then when you get to the base and you hand in all your shit, and then they're like, now you've got infinite ammo, infinite water, was the only
that
issue
always
I
happens
had with the
survival
game.
games.
And plus, playtesters didn't like the fuel management system, so when you play it on normal, your fuel meter never goes down.
Yeah, it takes a
So you
while.
have to play it on like super hard or something.
Good
But
game.
yeah, like the world is pretty cool. Like it was solid.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it, dude. I know I'd have fun playing that.
Chris
Yeah,
Hemsworth's
that's good.
character is mentioned in that game before he was like even an actor.
Is it?
Wow.
Is
Wow,
it
there you
really?
go.
His character is in that is
Wow.
mentioned in that video game. Yep.
That's so cool.
Whoa.
That's pretty cool.
I'm playing this
And,
for
like, that-
historical research.
Man, I'm gonna have to go back and play that. I'm gonna have to reinstall that game. Is what's gonna happen after this recording.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Who's
right.
pitching next?
Mateo.
Mateo, you've got 2 minutes on the clock, sir. 3, 2, 1, pitch.
Okay, so we're all a bunch of guys here. I want to pitch to y'all a game about cranking it, dude. Sometimes you got to crank it slow. Sometimes you got to crank it hard. Look, this game is like it's based on getting a high score. So you got 60 seconds. You know, a long time to crank it, really, to try to like get the highest score you can. You want to talk about memorable characters? Do you guys like bears? Because this cranking game is filled with bears.
Hell
So many
yeah.
bears. While you're cranking it, you got to try to make the bears happy. And the real trick is to crank it and know exactly when to stop. You know, you got to just like go forward, then just crank it right on back. And let's see, what else do I got? Jonah's really good at cranking this game. I watched him crank it for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
And he was actually way better than me when we first started cranking it. But I kind of I picked it up. I found out his techniques.
Yeah, Mateo watched me lay on the couch at our Airbnb and crank it. It was
He was
Man.
so skilled at cranking it immediately. It was ridiculous.
crank it in the bed, crank it in the kitchen. Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Crank it in the
Cranking
bathroom.
with friends sounds so communal. It sounds
So
so good.
that's
Communal
what
cranking.
I got. I'll close it out there. What do
Please.
y'all think? Do y'all want to crank
Please.
it?
Please tell me that this is on a system that uses motion controls, like Joy-Con, Wiimote, Analog Pocket with a literal.
None of
Crank,
those,
like-
actually.
Damn.
I was thinking it's
This
1-2
is,
switch or something crazy, but I'm like,
Yeah.
This I 100% know that Mateo got a play date before the thing. So yes, it is. It is a cranking game.
Wait, so it does have a motion operated crank?
Yeah.
It does. But it
Okay,
doesn't
then I'm
have a
in.
Wii-
I'm 100% in. No, yeah, if we were talking a real crank action, then I'm in. 100%.
I'm down to support Playdate. That's a fun little device if this is what that is.
Hell yeah.
The game is
Um,
only what, like $3, right?
Yeah, it's $3, and you only have to pay
Plus
$200
the
on
cost
top
of
of
the
that.
Playdate.
So $203.
The low price of $203, you can crank it with friends anytime you want.
Anywhere you
Mateo's
want.
house to borrow his crank machine.
Anywhere you want it. That's the way you need it.
Sounds like we're all basically in, Mateo. So what do you
Hell
got for us
yeah.
here?
The game is called Root Bear. It is a game about opening
Root
taps
Bear.
and pouring beverages
Oh,
into a
that's so
beverage.
clever.
at the
It's so
perfect
good,
level.
dude. It's so
That's
good.
so
Yeah.
clever.
It feels
It's
so
fantastic.
Holy
It's-
shit.
Yeah, doing even like with just a controller doing that in Dave the Diver was so fun. Yeah, man, there's something satisfying about pouring a good beer.
They
Bit
have the
ahead.
they have the memeiest faces too. When you get that perfect pour, they do like this goofy like chef's kiss with their
Yeah.
lip. It's so ridiculous.
Like, oh! It gives you sound effect like that too. You over
I
pour
think
like
Root Bear
crazy.
just
He
like,
just
It just shot to like most desired game. I want to play Root Beer so bad.
yeah. Root
Oh,
Bear
dude,
is
it's so
good.
It's so good. We'll
Okay.
if we see you during PAX East, if Jonah and I happen to make PAX East next year, if all 3 of us happen to make PAX East, I'll let you
Mhm.
crank it, dude.
All right, sick. All right, well, thank you so much for your pitches, guys. Congratulations. Pat yourselves on the back. We did it. We made it to the end of the podcast. It's now time for our final thoughts. As our guest, Adam, we'll give you the floor for final thoughts first. It could be anything maybe you want to shamelessly plug, or it could just be completely unrelated, random thought about anything, just whatever you're feeling. Final thoughts.
Yeah, just make sure to catch us over on Respawn Aim Fire. You can check out those Gaming Athlon episodes. I think those are good. And then me personally at Adam Gumby, because I'm trying to get my third time getting a channel to affiliate, so I need help.
Oh,
I need
yeah.
some followers. I need all that good stuff. And outside of that, I don't know. It's about to be a crazy season. October, November, December.
Yeah.
Games don't stop coming. They don't stop coming.
Mhm.
Wherever that song said. So everyone go out there, enjoy yourself. Don't overburden yourself. Just play what you want to play. Do your thing.
Oh yeah, love that. All right, Jonah, final thoughts.
Final thoughts are, I got to go to the Retro Gaming Expo today, and it was sweet.
Yeah.
I got to meet some of the people at Panic who make the Playdate, and we got to film some content with them. That was pretty sick.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got to meet a bunch of cool people on the show floor. We got some new stuff coming your way. If I met you and you're watching the show now, thank you. It was a pleasure meeting all of you. You all were fantastic. It was fun just hanging out and getting to know new people and see new faces. And yeah, like, share, and subscribe.
Jonah, you got to give the personalized shout out to the Retro Gaming Expo security guard.
Oh yeah, and then there was the cop there. He couldn't be on video. Homie, it was awesome talking to you about games. He recognized our show. It was awesome. Thank you, man. You were so sick.
Sick.
That's so
Steven,
cool.
final thoughts.
I just came back from holiday and didn't game the entire time. Just
Wow.
although a little bit of Monster Hunter Go or whatever it's called.
Sure.
He was wishing he could
But,
crank it while he was there.
I wish I could have cranked it for sure. That Soldier Boy. Anyway, the thing I was just gonna say is follow the stim. Like I picked up books again, and then bought like a bunch of books while I was on holiday. And yeah, whatever gives you that dopamine rush, why not? Fuck it. You only live once.
Wow. You
If
ended it with a
if you struggle
YOLO?
with
Yeah.
if you struggle with a gambling addiction, seek help. Mateo, final thoughts.
I just want to give a shout out to the team over at Starbucks. They keep a really clean parking lot. You never see any stragglers there. It is amazing. They're doing really good work over there. So shout out to all the Starbucks parking lots in Portland, Oregon.
Damn. All right. As always, I've been your host, Kid Birthday Lade. My final thoughts are just around a gratitude here. I mean, I'm like in a stage of my life with the 1-year-old toddler where my contributions to the podcast are basically just show up for recordings and I can't fucking do shit all else. So the rest of these gents have just been carrying it on their shoulders, growing the channel, and really appreciate the work you guys are doing. So 3 cheers for the other guys. Hip hip hooray, hip hip hooray, hip hip hooray. And thank you, Adam, for coming on the show again. You're an awesome guest. You're a homie.
Thanks
It's
so
fun
much.
chilling with you, dude.
Oh, thanks
And,
for having me though. I was really glad the whole PAX West networking thing happened. So that's cool. If
Yeah,
you
sure.
had to give me a ranking of all the special guests you've had on, please let me have that. You can DM it to me. That's fine.
sick.
I won't
Yeah,
make anyone
we'll
feel
give it a
embarrassed.
public shout out. I mean, like, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. You know,
Oh, yeah.
like if
Oh,
you've
yeah.
been on like 3 or 4 times and you were famous, you'd be a 10. That's all you're missing. So, you know.
Rank number 1 biggest Metal Gear hater. So that's pretty high rank.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
No, I'll take that.
Yeah, dude, we'd be like, be happy to have you again. If there's any collaborations on your end we can do, let us know. But
Absolutely.
as always, happy gaming. Bye.
As always, a big thank you to our friend Misdriven for the music in our podcast. If you like what you hear and you want to check out more of what they have, you can pay them a visit on Twitter at MIST_RIVEN 719 or on Bandcamp at Misdriven. Thanks again for tuning in. Till next time. Had some weird fucker on the school bus that put like fucking toothpicks down his dick or would claim to have done that, but I'm just like, I don't want stimulus on the inside of my urethra, to be honest. Like,
How do
I'm
you know?
good.
Oh,
Maybe it feels good, Steven.
my buddy and
Feels
I,
good.
we told
Let's
this.
Let's focus up.
We were like juniors in high school, and we told a freshman, we're like, hey, if you put toothpaste on the back of your ball sack, you'll get high. And he came back, he's like, you fucking lied to me.
They're just minty now.